And we're live. I'm so excited to be here with Kiana Davis, the owner and creator of Tutor Kids and more. Kiana, can you just talk about how you got into it and how you decided to start your business?
Yes, so I am a native of Morristown, New Jersey. I actually went to Children on the Green Daycare Center, and I worked there all 4 years of high school and went to college for teaching. And then when I left college, I started the business in September 2017 and was just really happy to give back to the community that gave back to me when I was a young kid growing up.
And why did you decide to go the entrepreneurial way versus going to being a teacher in the schools?
So I kind of did it a little bit of both, where I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a teacher full time when I first got out of school. So I decided that individualized personal instruction was something that I wanted to explore because I did it during undergrad with a second grader and a fourth grader, brother and sister. And I fell in love with tutoring then. So when I got out of school, I decided, I'll just use my substitute license. I'll pop around to schools. I'll get to know teachers and get to know the atmosphere, but also be working on my own on the side to, further better my expertise on how to help kids in classrooms and outside of classrooms.
And you've been tutoring kids since 2017. I mean, it's mostly people within Morris County.
Yes, so I originally, when I started business, I was open to Essex County and Morris County, and then as I grew, I had to obviously minimize the amount of travel that I was doing. But I'm still open to traveling outside of Morris County. I really just want people to know that I will work with you as long as you work with me.
And how have things changed since the pandemic began? I guess everything is virtual nowadays.
Yes. So I do actually work as an instructional para in Parsippany School District. And it was interesting transitioning in March from obviously in person to virtual. And it actually helped me to figure out that I can do virtual tutoring as well. So with the pandemic, I took some time for myself. I started grad school in January. So I started my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So that kind of took a lot of my energy, which was kind of perfect timing. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to offer virtual workshops where it's a group or you can do individual tutoring and just kind of see if people liked it. And I've had a few bookings so far, and I'm really excited to offer a group learning environment.
How do the two differ? I mean, how should someone decide between maybe one-on-one versus a group setting?
That's a good question. I feel like it depends on your child. I feel like there are some parents who just aren't sure if their child's going to be comfortable with a one-on-one tutor. So maybe inviting them into the group setting first to kind of ease their way into it. It helps some people. It helps people feel a little more at ease. But at the same time, there are kids that work better in an individualized setting where they have your full attention, you have their full attention, and it's just a flow. So it really depends on your kid.
Yeah, makes sense. And what subjects do you tutor in?
So I'm actually certified to teach grades K through 6. I went to Montclair State University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in family and child studies with a teaching certification on top of that. So I'm versed in those grades, but I've tutored eighth graders, I've tutored high schoolers. It just depends on the subject matter.
Okay. And how does someone get started with you? I mean, I think I saw on your website that you have like kind of a free consultation to get acquainted with you and get started.
Yes, so you can go that route. I've had people who, when I was doing in-person services, I would go to their home. We would sit down for 30 or 45 minutes. I would meet their child, see their home, just gain any information that they really want me to know. And then I'd be able to ask questions to them and vice versa to kind of, get a feel of how comfortable we are. So that first 30 to 45 minutes is free. That can also be done virtually as well if you're more comfortable that way. And then we kind of just go from there.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I have a 8-year-old daughter. She has tried out. I guess all the kids are doing Zoom meetings nowadays,
Yes,
and she
yes.
has tried out varsity tutors, which I think she didn't really like. But how does your service compare to like one of the bigger services, and how should parents kind of decide what service to use?
Again, I feel like similar to the individualized versus group instruction, it really depends on your child. Like you're saying, your daughter just didn't vibe with the varsity tutors, and I actually had applied for varsity tutors before starting business when I just wasn't
Mm,
sure what to do. And I personally can agree that it's not as warm of an experience. It's very, I want to say robotic. And I feel like the difference between myself and, a bigger company like that is that I'm very in person. I'd rather speak to you, hear your voice, hear your child's voice. I want to get to know you before the instruction even starts, because then the instruction kind of flows a lot easier, in my opinion, from my experience.
yeah,
So
that makes
yeah.
sense. And I
Hmm.
mean, we looked at varsity tutors, and I feel like they list all these people with great credentials, but then you don't know who you're going to get. So, I
Right.
mean, when they're working with you, they know who they're going
Hmm.
to have.
Yep, they know me way before I even get in front of their child, and I actually want that. I want that warm interaction before the instruction kind of comes into play, because I feel like instruction should be fun. And I really do value the fact that most of the people that I've worked with have said that. And it's something that I pride myself in, because I went to school for instruction, obviously, but leaving school and not knowing what I was going to do with myself really just made me feel like whatever I do, it needs to be fun, not just for me, but for whoever I service. So yeah.
And what kind of kids do you find most likely to come to you? Are they people that are maybe have a weakness in a subject, or is it someone that's trying to get ahead?
it,
Why are
it
people
depends
seeing
too.
you?
It can be both. It can be both. I've had clients that have come to me and said, I want my child to skip a grade. I've
Mm,
had people who have children that are unable to go to school publicly because of medical conditions, and I've homeschooled students. I've had people who just want their kids to keep learning and just stay in that academic mode, but still enjoy it. So it really, like I said, it depends on you, it depends on your child, it depends on the preference of where you want your child to be. And I always say that there's no rush to learning either. You really have to give your child and myself the time to build the relationship so that the instruction flows easier. And that's really what's more important to me than anything.
yeah. And the group classes, are those several times a week, or is it once a week?
So I just started offering them. So the first week I did one, and then the second week I offered two. This week, actually, starting on Wednesday, there's three. So Wednesday, I believe, I'm not sure exactly what my subjects are because I'm all over the place, but I've offered three workshops this week. The first one is for kindergarten to first grade. The second one on Thursday is for first through second grade, and then Friday is for third through fourth grade. So if you want more information, they're more welcome to go to my website, and my Instagram page is where I post the workshop schedules each week.
And when they work with you as a teacher, I mean, as a tutor, or in these virtual sessions, do they also get work outside of that?
Yes. So on top of the instruction and within that hour space, I do offer a worksheet, sometimes two worksheets, or a website that might, excite your child that they can go to use outside of the workshop setting. Because another thing that I really pride myself on is in-home instruction, but not always with me. I want parents to feel comfortable to have that moment and have the academic space with their child so that they don't always feel the need to have me around, because that's not the goal. The goal is for me to be there when you need me, and then when you don't, feel confident and have the tools that you need to continue working with your child without me there.
And how has business been since the pandemic started? I know it's just been such a dramatic change for all parents having to deal with in-home learning, and it's nothing that any of us have been prepared for. So, are you seeing more uh, people looking for a tutor?
Yes and no. I find that there are some people who are that, like, we just like have fun all day, so they don't want to have
Mm,
fun and learn. So then I come in. But then there are some parents that are just like, you know what, right now, especially given the pandemic and the shift of virtual learning, a lot of parents want a break right now. So I'm just happy that I'm here to offer the service, and whenever you are ready, I'm here. But I've come to find out that I have maybe one or two kids in the workshops right now, but all things just take time.
yeah, makes sense. And how does Tutor Kids and More give back to the local community? And it sounds like you grew up in Morristown and are very actively engaged.
So, I actually started my community engagement the same year that I started the business, and I have done a lot of the actually all the community outreach events that I have taken part with are also on my website. So, if anybody is interested in the details, but I did a school supply drive last year for the Morristown Neighborhood House, which went amazing. The year before that, I had done George Granby Day is a community event that happens every year, and I took part in that. And there's a few other events that I've done, but I just enjoy giving back to the community, whether it's through the school supply drives, whether it's from going to the Morristown Farmers Market. I do that almost every weekend when the farmers market season starts because I really do love just supporting all of the local businesses that, New Jersey is lucky to have.
And I almost forgot about touching on it, but you also offer babysitting and childcare services.
Yes,
And
yes.
you want to just talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started babysitting when I was a teenager, honestly. But had a, I've always gravitated towards kids. I've always said that I have more patience for children than adults, which is like a joke that I say to people. But it's true, kids don't have all of the patience and things that we have. So I feel like my babysitting has been very, very rewarding for me because I get to just have fun. It's not about learning the whole time. It's about just playing and enjoying kids' spaces. So I offer babysitting individually and I also offer group babysitting. Before the pandemic, that was something that parents were really excited about because, there are some times that you all want to go out together and not everybody has a babysitter. So I started offering that to kind of give parents that option to say, hey, bring them all to one of your friends' houses. I can watch them all together, and you don't have to worry so much about having to find a sitter. So I'm really excited for, when things do get back to more of a normal, that parents have that option, babysitting just with me and your child. And I also do babysitting events where I've actually had an event where I did the first year I started business where the mother wanted to have a birthday party for her son, but the adults also wanted to have, their own time and space to, get together. So I came in with a craft and I basically had the kids to the side and we just had fun together in a very quiet setting where the parents were able to have time to themselves and I was there to kind of keep the kids busy. So that was really, really fun. That's also on my website if people want to check that out too.
Cool. And hopefully we'll get to a space where it'll be more common for these
Yes,
events
yes.
and parties to be going back.
I
And
know.
how should people find you on your website and social?
So social media, I have a Facebook and an Instagram. You can find me at Tutor Kids and more. And on both of the platforms, there is a link to get directly to my website, which is just simply www.tutorkidsandmore.com.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much for sharing your story. It's a great story, and I love how you're giving back to the community and tutoring kids. I think it's so important nowadays because I don't know, we're all stuck at home and worrying about how the kids are going to be learning come fall. But
Yes.
I think it'll be good for your business. I think people are going to need help.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. And thank you for just, allowing me to use this space to talk about myself and my business and my story. I really do appreciate it.
All right, thanks so much, Kiana. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.